Hello everybody. Today I have a contraption for you that can refill shulker boxes. So I call it the ender chest refiller, although technically we can't take anything from the ender chest itself, but it's meant to be that we take shulker boxes from here that are partially filled, that we are able to put them into the contraption here into the input. And then the machine will start and refill this ender chest for us, this shulker box for us, so that we can put it back into the ender chest. All right, let's go back to creative, and I can also show you a little bit on how the system works while it's running. So it is a two-component system. So this is actually the contraption that I'm proposing to you. It's an add-on for any kind of storage solutions that you plan to make or that you already have. And the other component is the storage unit, so to say. That can be just a manual chest of a wall of chests, or it can be a storage system or an autocrafter array. So here we have now we see now here from the shulker box that we put in that items are taken out by minecarts in a controlled way, so that we also preserve the order of the items. And once all the items are taken out, then also the refill process will start. So let's have a look here. Wait one more time. Yeah, the cart goes here to a second station for some blocker items, because not always the shulker box might be completely full, right? So there may be gaps. And then we go from the contraption here into the storage solution. And here, for example, then the carts are gliding under the chests, and they pick up that way items that are fitting, like from a reservoir. Then they loop back and they come around here into the unloader. So I will now fasten up the process, and we'll wait here for the shulker box to appear. System has now finished processing, and we can take out here our new box and can compare it here with the previous one. So this is the one which got refilled, and this is the previous one. So we can see as well that the system tries to preserve the order of items as well, which I think is a good thing. We of course had a little bit of waiting time, and the best way to go about that, in my opinion, is to run two sets of a shulker box, right? So if we want to, for example, refill this one, then maybe we have this already in the output, so that we can put this from our ender chest into the contraption, take that one out already immediately, put it in our ender chest, and that way we don't have to wait for the refill process of that particular shulker box, if that makes sense. So we run, to speed up the process, I recommend to run two sets of the same shulker box pretty much. Yeah, let's have a look maybe also at the other transitions the system is doing. So here I also have a few showcases, so we don't have to run it through the system all the time. So this is the one you have seen, yeah. So transitions from just filling things up. Obviously, if we don't have any matching items in our reservoir, then obviously also nothing is getting refilled. So that depends on your storage system here, on what you actually have available. The system doesn't break if you put in empty shulker boxes or unstackables. So this is another consideration for this refiller, is that because the way the items are taken out, for example, if you put in such a shulker box here, then you would get this back. So in this case, it puts all item types or all of the same item type together and then refills only once, so to say, per item type. This is something to note. So the system works best if you have a lot of different item types. But if you have, for example, let's say a shulker box of rockets or something, then you need to refill that differently, like in a different method. Then the system would not help you there pretty much. Okay, this is just technical tests. I did some additional ones, and of course, yeah, like this as well. Okay, so that is the basic of the system. Yeah, let's have a look a little bit closer on the reservoirs part. So this is always the same. I will also provide a schematic, lightmatic, and world download for that. And but this depends here a little bit on what you already have, maybe as a storage system, or on what you are gonna have to build, so to say. Let's start off with some standard storage systems. So this one here, for example, is by Metamillo and Inspector Talon. And I just wanted to show you that this minecart pass can be put into some standard sorting systems as well as an add-on, so to say, right? Like, so you build a storage system, maybe from your favorite YouTuber, and a lot of those contraptions can be amended so that you are able to use the shulker box refiller as well. So in this case, so we have a card here, for example, and I'll go back here to standard speed. So the way it's just arranged is that we, under the bottommost chest, we let the minecart slide like this. So it's starting to fill up items, and will go all around here till the end, until we captured it again. So this is pretty much the interface, excuse me, the interface for the refiller. We have this as well here, for example, is another storage system. This is also by Metamillo and Rapscallion, and also .nerd and Rifter Labs. I hope I pronounce these names correctly. Just to show you that if you have a storage system, for example, which has the chest sideways, you can also run such a sailing path here underneath the chests for the refiller to work. Let's see if we can also make that work, actually. Yeah, let's let it run through here. So it will also sail through. The key here is, if you do it like this, that you have also when you are building it, it's that you need like a 1.5 roughly pass, so that the cart is sliding between two blocks here, as you can see. You can achieve that if you have a wall on one side and the trapdoors on the other side, and then you switch back and forth. And you have soul sand below here to slow the things down, so that the cart has enough time to pick up things. Generally though, this is even not, yeah, here it's a water source. Always when you have a water source, you would also put some mud so that the minecart isn't bobbing around, for example, like here. But apart from that, it's soul sand. And that way the cart will find its way and, so to say, search through your whole storage system. So here we have a corner. These are also working reliable. If you build something like this, if you have the walls on the inner side of the curve, I should say, and If you design such a system as well, or such a pathway, I would also start with these corners to build them exactly like you see them here, with the water stream starting there again. And then once you have all the corners done, then you can put the middle parts, and then you can shorten or lengthen them and as you please. So then, yeah, you can capture these cards then as you please as well. So you can just have like a sloped rail. You can even put it under here, for example, because a card will clip through. There are various ways of doing that then. And then you can guide them back to the ender chest refiller. If you have such a storage system, for example, this is the one I provided recently on my channel, then there are multiple categories in one column. But even there you can find solutions, and here I have one for you as well. That you can, that is the most complicated one actually, that you can let the card glide through 2 chest layers as well, as you see here. You also have to then make sure that it's actually also gliding here a little bit on this hopper, so that it doesn't actually touch the chests. So you need to have, for example, if you have hoppers here, you need to make a little bit of space with the container. So you can use chests, for example, or pots in the newer versions when they become containers. That way the card can slide over here as well and search for the necessary items for your Shulker refill process. So yeah, and then yeah, the card will simply drop down here and come back here, and then will be collected here. So that is the little bit more challenging one, but I think for the most common yeah, storage systems, it should be fairly straightforward. You obviously can also not run it under your main storage system. You can also run it under, for example, some autocrafters or autocrafter arrays, or you can run it under a bulk storage, maybe if you have one which has also loose items. And then it's pretty much the same principle, right? Like you have this 2 white pass here, or 1.5 around white pass, and can let it light through. If you run this version in between 2 chest layers, so the more difficult one, there's one thing to note is that if you actually, I don't know, how did I do this here? I'll just click this. And let's see, yeah. So if you let it run through 2 chest layers, the alignment shortly of this card will change after a while, so that it will only work roughly 15, 16 blocks. When you have like another fence gate here, it would stop normally. And you can put in extra repeaters, I would call them. So if you have another stair like this, you can make realign, so to say, the card correctly against here the pots, and this way the card is able to go till the end. So this would be the scenario where you have it in between 2 chest layers. I'm checking my notes. I think this is mostly it. Yeah, let's go back to the start. Yeah, there's one more note I have. Exactly. So let's have a look here on this card. It should, I think, be returned by now. Yeah. And you will see this card here is not completely full. Yeah, this one is lacking a few items. And there's one thing to think about, so to say. If your storage where you run it under is a multi-item sorter, then, for example, here we have comparators and repeaters in one and the same chest. Since the card is only spending so much time under each chest, then it may not be able to pull out everything if left unchecked, I should say. So what you need to do, for the perfect, of course, is if you have one item type per column, but it's not necessary. So you can also have it so that you spread it out a little bit. For example, the first minecart, if we would run such a shulker box here, for example, the first minecart would pick up 5 of these items, right? So it would be, the one minecart would be having those 2 items, and those are also in just one chest. And that makes it so that it might not be able to refresh both of them. But if we change, for example, the order here a little bit, like this, then this will be the first minecart, 5 items, and this will be the second minecart, and then we don't have this problem anymore. Because this is then run by a different minecart. And this way it would be able to refill, even though we have a multi-item sorter where 2 different item types are in the same chest. So yeah, that makes it a little bit interdependent, like, I don't know the word, like makes it so that, yeah, they depend on each other, and so that it makes also sense if you have a multi-item sorter to spread out your components a little bit. Yeah, 5 chests is good, is a good rule of thumb. And also to make sure that things that are in the same chests, that you don't maybe align them horizontally, but for example, switch them around like this, and then the refresh process also will work fine. Yeah, this is maybe, I don't even know if I've said it at the beginning, actually. So this is also a kind of a requirement for the system, right? You kind of want to always keep one item of, you don't want to, when you run your project, you don't want to empty this slot completely, right? But because then we wouldn't know what is needs to be refreshed. So you want to keep one item type, one item minimum always in the slot. So if you take out something, you go left click, right click, and keep one slot in. So it's easy to refill. All right, so that was a little bit jumpy, but I think it's most of the things I wanted to say about the system. I'm very excited about it. I want to build it very soon as well in survival, just to get rid of this extra time always to have to refill all the shulker boxes manually. And I think in combination with the autocrafter, I think this is gonna be super good. For building nodes, I think it's fairly straightforward. You will see it in the world download or schematic. I think there's nothing too spectacular. I put signs everywhere where items need to be filled and stuff and filters, but this is, I think, standard stuff. If you have questions, though, feel free to ask in the comment section or ping me on Discord or anything. Yeah, then I can also help you, of course. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care and bye-bye.